Look at me all you want. You can look at me all you want, boy. Bye-bye. Alright, let me stand up for this. Hey.
Listen, just follow instructions right now. Everybody need to plane. Good, that's it. I appreciate it. The only person I appreciate your
Just relax. You don't have to talk to him.
Everything wrong with the world. Looking at me to get off a plane for you. I would never, ever in my life get off the plane for you. Specifically you. Maybe everybody else. I would get off the plane. Nothing to me. Ain't no way you could look at me. Ever.
Guys, just don't engage with them. Just don't engage. Quick, go again.
You gonna wait 40 minutes and I'm gonna be on a private plane home.
Good.
Yeah, get your fat ass.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I will. Get your ass off the plane for a second.
Sure.
Yeah, I bet. Enjoy the cheese board on the way home. Get your ugly ass. It ain't nothing to me, bro. Got life. I'm sorry. All you had to do was wake me up.
Famous football star in first class, acting like a first class fool. Odell Beckham Jr. going full Karen. I mean, he had a massive case of Karenicity, right? That is diagnosed now and needs intervention. It needs intervention. This happened the day after Thanksgiving, November 27th. Saw officers who were boarding American Airlines Flight 1228, approaching the 30-year-old's first class seat. Other passengers can be seen eagerly watching as the scene unfolds, and police make contact with Beckham. After answering a few questions, police give Beckham a thumbs up. However, flight attendants fight back. They're not having it, alleging he wasn't wearing pants, though he was at the time cops questioned him, and accusing the NFL star of being intoxicated. Male flight attendant says, this is a 5-hour flight. He shouldn't be doing this, adding Beckham told one attendant he had been out clubbing the night before. He's tired. Cops replied, he's tired, leave him alone. But flight attendants and even the captain pressed their wishes to see him escorted off the plane, describing him as belligerent and non-compliant. Despite being approached by the captain, Beckham refuses to budge. His actions force the passengers to deboard, while airport staff can be seen chatting about the famous football star. Can I get his signature? One ask. There's always one. Really? You don't, because he plays football. All right. Police subsequently reassure him and tell him it's coming from a place of love, as they calm him down as he is escorted off the plane and into the airport among a sea of waiting passengers. Applause and cheers can be heard. Beckham did not face any charges over the incident. That from the Daily Beast. Rayyvana, this is not generally how Karens look when we have them on the show, but your behavior is what dictates the term, okay? And this thing about a cheese board, if you could unpack all of it for us.
I have no insights as to the cheese board or what he meant by that. But I can say I covered the story last night on the TYT main show. And afterwards I sat and read some of the comments, and I got some messages from people that were saying that there might be more to the story, that this might have been an instance of, they were abusing or harassing him, the flight attendants, because he was a black man in first class. But the more I looked into it, this is not the first time that Odell Beckham Jr. has gone full Karen on individuals. And his response, I feel like, would have indicated that he felt like he was being unfairly targeted as a black man. But it didn't. Instead, he decided to call other people, almost all other people, germs. And try to justify his behavior. And later in the video, you can see the male flight attendant describing that he went to just buckle the seatbelt for him so that they could get on with the flight. And when he reached down to grab the seatbelt, that's when he noticed that he wasn't wearing any pants. So, and they also describe how they were vigorously shaking him multiple times. I think they said 5 times they tried to wake him up and he wouldn't wake up. So a lot of people are just going based off of what they saw in the security camera footage. But there was also these concerns the flight attendants had before the cameras were on about his behavior then. And of course, it is a safety risk for them because he told them he came from the club. So they don't know if he's drunk or if he took something at a club and might be experiencing a health issue on this 5-hour flight where they wouldn't be able to properly give him the emergency services that would be necessary, to protect his life in that case. So, and I really do think that he put his ego on full display when he forced every other passenger on that flight to get off the plane before he finally got off himself.
Yeah, and I think it's a full-time job to keep some superstar athletes grounded. And I mean that because they start so early. And when they're good, they're identified even earlier. And they're praised. And they often get away with things. And the ones who don't behave like Odell and scream about a cheese board and call everybody germs, you hear these backstories like, yeah, my family, somebody kept them in check and said, no, you're not running everything around here. You're gonna treat people with respect. But I also want to talk more about the police. This little stupid thumbs up, Rayyvana, and well, he's tired. Police, who we just saw in another segment, right? We talked all about them and how they do disproportionately target some people in our society. When you're a groupie, is that not universal? I feel like everybody loves a football star. And that's a problem here because you're right, it's been a security, huge one in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen a lot of people saying, well, the police checked him and they said he was fine. They said he was just sleepy. But I need people to know, and you can watch the full security or the body cam footage to see this. All they do is shake him to wake him up. And then they ask him if he knows where he is. There's no medical tests being done. There's no breathalyzer to see if he is intoxicated. They just see if he knows like where he is currently and where he's traveling to, and that's it. And then they're honestly very dismissive of the complaints that the flight attendants were making while they're whispering about, oh, should I ask him for his autograph? And you can hear them in the body cam footage saying, oh, he used to play for the Browns. He's really great. And it's, they clearly were starstruck, and I think it impeded their ability to do their jobs.
Yeah, it did. And his behavior spoke for themselves, okay? Including when he was told initially, come on, man, if you'll just deplane, otherwise everybody's gonna have. He's like, good. I want everybody to have to get off. What do I care? And the comment about the private plane as he's laughing at the little people. I think if you had to score a Karen Rayyvana 1 to 10, 10 being, again, it may be an incurable case of Karenicity. What's the score here?
We've seen so many egregious Karens. I'm not gonna put it too high. I put him at a 6 or a 7. But I mean,
agree.
It's very disrespectful also to berate the passengers as they're going by. I mean, he calls the man fat and ugly, but the person is reasonably upset that he's having to get off this flight, which ended up being delayed 2 hours because of Odell Beckham Jr.'s behavior.
Yeah, and you don't know where people were going. I've got a sick child in the hospital. I'm going over. You don't know what people had, obligations, things, and to talk about his cheese board and his private plane. And I've asked our crack team here, incredible investigative team, if he's offered any remorse, because that could happen at any time. And I keep being told, stop asking. We've looked into it and we're not seeing anything except about germs, calling people ugly, and insults. So we'll see if there's a change of heart when he enters free agency and needs a team to kind of pretend he's sorry. We'll see.